Welcome back to another explainer. So, last time we completely mastered the order of operations, and today we're opening up a brand new toolkit. We're going to re-examine the structural shortcuts of real numbers. Let's get right into it.
You know, we hear the phrase rules of the game a lot, right? And look, I get it. Math rules can honestly feel like a bit of a chore sometimes. But let's try reframing them today. Instead of boring rules, think of these properties as structural shortcuts. They're basically literal cheat codes built right into the language of math, and once you know them, they give you a massive advantage and make solving equations so much more efficient.
Okay, let's dive into this. Key number 1, unlocking the commutative property. So the word commute simply means to move around. And if you look at the beautiful Arabic translation on the screen, it captures this idea perfectly. It's really all about switching or swapping places. See, when you're adding or multiplying, the numbers can commute to entirely new locations. But your final answer, it stays completely identical. A plus B is exactly the same as B plus A. The elements shift around, but the result remains totally anchored. It just proves that the structure in addition and multiplication is beautifully flexible. Let's move to the next one and see how this builds. Key number 2, unlocking the associative property. Right, so to associate means to group together, kind of like forming friend groups. And the Arabic term you see here brilliantly highlights this core concept of gathering. In algebra, it's the parentheses that actually dictate these specific groupings. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the parentheses shift. On the left side, A and B are grouped together, while on the right side, B and C take priority. This rule tells us that with strict addition or multiplication, you can completely change the grouping without altering the final product at all. The grouping tells you the chronological order of operations, sure, but the end total is exactly the same regardless of those internal clusters. Pretty cool, right?
Moving right along. Key number 3, unlocking the identity property, also known as the magic mirror rule.
So think about this for a second. If a number looks into a mirror and wants to see itself looking back perfectly unchanged, what can you actually add to that number to keep its identity exactly the same? And similarly, what can you multiply by that number to keep its identity exactly the same? Any guesses?
Well, here are the ultimate mirrors. For addition, your perfect mirror is 0. Any number A plus 0 just equals A. It keeps its identity perfectly. For multiplication, your mirror is the number 1. Any number A multiplied by 1 remains A. Basically, 0 and 1 act as these perfect mathematical mirrors that preserve any number's identity.
Okay, but wait. We need to talk about a major boss trap lurking in this level. Beware the pitfalls.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. In our safe zone on the left, so addition and multiplication, our shortcuts work perfectly. You can freely apply the commutative and associative rules, you can swap, you can group, and you are completely secure in the logic. But enter the trap zone on the right, subtraction and division, and man, these structural properties entirely fall apart. If you try swapping variables here, you're going to trigger a complete structural collapse of your equation.
Here's a quick proof of exactly why falling into this swapping trap will absolutely ruin your equation. 5 minus 3 gives you a positive 2, right? But if you carelessly commute them to 3 minus 5, suddenly you have a negative 2. Definitely not the same thing, so proceed with caution.
All right, let's bring the energy back up and put this all together. Mastering your math potential.
So the crucial point is, we now have this ultimate cheat sheet of our newly unlocked keys. Seriously, feel free to screenshot this. We've got the commutative property for seamlessly swapping terms, the associative property for reorganizing groups, and the identity property for mirroring a value perfectly. Having these 3 properties ingrained in your toolkit gives you a massive advantage and the structural confidence you need to beat far more complex algebraic bosses.
You have the shortcuts. You know the true rules of the game. So, I'll leave you with this. With these mathematical cheat codes fully unlocked, which complex equation will you conquer next? Thanks for joining me on this explainer today. Use your cheat sheet wisely and keep unlocking your potential.